I wish to state that on October the 25th, 2019, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township bulletin board, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on UTTV Channel 97 on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement made a part of the minutes of this meeting. I would ask all to rise for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barbara, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Corson?
Present.
Mr. Young?
Here.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Here.
Mr. President.
All right, would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes from October 15th, both the regular and closed session minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any corrections, deletions, omissions that anyone's aware of? Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried with all in favor.
All right. Scott, do you have anything for us this evening?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, committee members. A few things. I just wanted to update committee and the residents of Upper Township that our first pass, I guess you would say, for brush cleanup through the township has been completed. Today we officially started the second round, and our Public Works Department, through Craig Reeves, has done an excellent job cleaning the brush up, and we're moving forward with that particular project. I also wanted to remind our residents that starting in November, and I would direct them to our website at uppertownship.com through our Public Works link, that there is a schedule for our 2019 loose leaf collection and the requirements for loose leaf collection. We will have our signs out in advance of those areas throughout the township that are going to be next to be collected. In addition to, once again, if you refer back to our website, there is a calendar, and it's updated on a daily basis by our Public Works staff to show where the next locations and what has been collected already, so everybody's familiar with that. So in addition to the requirements, once again, on how exactly our brush and also, in this case, our leaves are to be placed out at the curb. The next announcement I'd like to make is emergency operations planning workshop for houses of worship will be held tomorrow night in Avalon. Upper Township Emergency Management, in conjunction with Cape May County Emergency Management, are going to be holding a training session, and where we've invited, we've opened it up to Cape May and Atlantic County places of worship, their administrative personnel, to teach them from an active shooter standpoint how to prepare for an incident such as that, and how to create plans and motivate their administrative personnel from a homeland security and overall security of the facility standpoint. So that will be taking place, and like I said, Upper Township Emergency Management and Cape May County Emergency Management will be hosting that tomorrow night. It's at the Avalon Community Center, and it's from 5 to 7 p.m. I do have one request, or actually two requests this evening. One that I received from Chief Potter. This is for training for one of our EMTs, Mike Lenz. This is a 3-day training class, November 18th through November 20th. It's free, but of course the requirement needing Township Committee's approval for the 3-day period away from work. So I do make that.
I'd like to make a motion we authorize it.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
And my second request of committee, back on September 15th, we received I'll call it a letter of commendation from the United States Department of State National Passport Center. basically to our office staff, Patty Smythe, and also Rose Trout. And it was basically an acknowledgement of the work that they've been doing on our passport acceptance agent program. They received a certificate of achievement for the outstanding job that they had done for our citizens here in Upper Township. And following that, I received a notice from the same National Passport Center regarding a 2019 National Awards Program for passport acceptance facilities and agents. And basically it establishes a Passport Acceptance Agent of the Year and the Passport Acceptance Facility of the Year awards to recognize and honor our outstanding facilities and agents. I'd just like permission to move forward with the application. There is no fee to process and submit an application, but on behalf of those hardworking employees, I'd like to request approval to submit an application.
We don't need to make a motion on that, do we? Like, you want us to make a motion on that?
Yes, he's asking.
I'll make a motion on that to move forward.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
That's all I have to see.
All right. Barbara?
Okay, I just have a couple of things. Just wanted to report that I attended the county complete count committee meeting for the U.S. Census last week. And this morning, we had a meeting with the partnership specialist who is looking for Upper Township to form their own municipal subcommittee for the Complete Count Committee to get the word out about the U.S. Census and to just be a contact for those, that would like to apply for a job with the census, anyone that might need help, applying filling out their application for the census. So we would like to do that. I'd like to form this committee with myself, the administrator, the engineer, and my deputy. With your permission, we'd like to form a complete count committee here for Upper Township. So
If you
you're
agree.
okay with that?
Need a motion on that? I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes. Now, Barbara, I have one question for you.
Sure.
Just as we have been trying to zero in on one zip code, which we haven't been so successful with the census, was there any discussion that some of the addresses that are in the township actually have like a Woodbine address or something? So we want to make sure that we're getting credit for the census?
That's something that we did talk about, and we will.
Part of what I did and actually they've been doing it for like the last year, is they send myself maps of the township and the boundaries. So they don't really they do some zip coding, but they have their own census tracts that they actually coordinate with. So their maps are all sorted by the municipality, and they have those physical boundaries hard coded in. So I verified that all the properties in the township are the ones that they'll be included in there. So it's not really.
Well, that's good to hear, because
Zip code is important because they mail, this year, or next year, they're going to have the option. They prefer you to do it online, actually to fill out the census questionnaire online, but they will also be mailing you one.
We'll have that website posted on our website, the link to the census where you can go on to register, and you can also take a look at this, at the interactive map.
So do they have any like public service announcements that we could maybe use on the website or on the
Yes.
UTTV? Because I think that we should start building people.
Not on TV, but for Facebook and our webpage, there'll be information that we can do. They also have a big program to push out to the schools.
Okay. Because we would like to get that as precise as possible, because it could potentially have impact on funding and those kind of things, grants.
Yes. Okay, the next thing I had is I just wanted to report that all the employees in my office have completed their the Fish and Wildlife training. Fish and Wildlife has just rolled out a new program, the Aspira program, which will allow people to go online and actually apply for Fish and Wildlife licenses. Some of the licenses, though, are not available online, so they will need to come they could come to the clerk's office to purchase those. So that's all in order now. We've all been trained in it. The program, the system is up and running, so if you need anything, hunting, fishing, anything like that, we're there for you for that. The next thing I have is of course, the elections are November 5th from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Clerk's office will be open for anyone that has questions about polling locations or things of that nature. Feel free to call the clerk's office. And the tree lighting, we have set the date for the tree lighting. That's going to be November 25th at 6:30 p.m. And we have we're happy to say we have the Uptown Singers coming to perform for us, as well as the Upper Township Middle School choir and some of the, and the band will also be here. Some of the choir members and the band will be here to perform. And the last thing I have is trick-or-treating in Upper Township is scheduled for October 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. We have had a lot of calls today, and I understand from Mr. Dietrich that we've had some requests on Facebook to change the date because of the weather, because apparently, I guess there's some bad weather forecasted for Thursday.
I watched Action News after reading Facebook, and Action News had it clear from about 5 to 11.
That's what I saw. So,
Remember years ago, the Township Committee changed Halloween date many, many years ago, and it was
the only time I ever recall was right after Hurricane Sandy, where the governor basically declared a disaster area and said you have to change the date. We went into like November, but I think part of the reason why you're receiving a lot of those requests is because I think the school changed their Halloween parade from Thursday to Wednesday. So I guess that's the K through 2, and then maybe some of the other students in the elementary school. And I would say part of that is precautionary because all the kids are outside. I just don't know how we could change it at this late date, because it's not only the kids, which obviously you want to try and protect and make sure they're fine, but the residents that are probably already ready for that, like the ones that give the candy to the folks that are out there. It would take a big effort to try, barring anything short of like a code red call, like a couple, 3, so, it's up to you guys.
I looked at the forecast. Scott's always called the shots for all our events, so.
I saw the same forecast, very similar to what you made.
So what the news was saying tonight was that they expect some showers on Thursday morning, some dry spells coming in, and then more heavier, steadier rain will come in. I feel like Cicely Tynan, given the meteorology report. They're coming in, it's supposed to rain harder, like not until like 10 o'clock at night or something.
They're calling 10.
What?
It was later at night, yeah. It showed a clear window from like 5 to 9 or something, so
All right, so...
We've had good luck.
How about Hurricane Schwartz? That might be all right.
I say keep.
So do I.
Yeah, you know what, we're depending on a forecast that could go either way, I would suppose, we're still 3 days away, so...
I don't really depend on the weather.
Because I wouldn't even know what day to change it to. That's the other question. We're talking Friday night or Saturday afternoon, or, So I think just to avoid confusion with everybody, we'll put some stuff on the Facebook post and on the website, just saying that Township Committee feels that, we'll continue with the October 31st.
I just think this late opportunity is kind of late to get it changed, and if we are going to change it, I would change it to Friday night, so it's not on a school night. But that being said,
But then you have football games on Friday night,
And there's football on Saturday for them.
And soccer, so it really don't have
so it's always going to conflict with something. Halloween is Halloween.
So really, you could say because of conflicting sports events, that, the Township Committee, will hope for the best, and, we asked everyone to be cognizant of the weather. Certainly don't want anybody out there if there's thunderstorms, but they're not really predicting thunderstorms anyway, so.
Pretty much doesn't matter what the weather is. I don't get anybody at my house.
I get a lot.
I would comment on that, but,
Very good. That's all I have this evening, sir.
Okay. Daniel.
Nothing at this time, but we do have a handful of closed session items.
All right, Paul.
Thank you. First, I just would like to report, at our last meeting, we had several residents that were concerned regarding the clearing at a project on Tuckahoe Road. I just wanted to report to the committee that I did visit the site actually this afternoon, inspected the buffer. It's the same as it was when they first cleared it, when I inspected it upon clearing. It meets both the ordinance and their approved site plan requirements of maintaining the 50-foot buffer. I think I sent committee several pictures of the buffer area just to show you what the buffer looked like, but it's in accordance with the plans and our ordinance.
But they are required to do 75-foot buffer, right?
Well, 75-foot setback to structures or the roadway improvements. So it's a 50-foot landscaping tree buffer, but it's not really a 75-foot buffer, it's a 75-foot setback to improvements.
Well, where is the fence going to go?
The fence is going to go, it'll be the 50-foot tree landscape buffer and then the fence.
Well, will the fence be at 51 feet or at 75 feet?
It'll be at 50 feet.
50 feet, okay.
I think part of the problem is some of the area did not have as much vegetation growth in that 50-foot buffer. And when they cut the trees down on the existing lot where they're going to build the properties, that's what created that, opportunity to see through it. So I think we need to make sure we have a clear definition if individual residents asked on Oak and some of the other streets that, the buffer is 50 foot from their line.
Well, actually, it's not 50 foot from their lines. There's actually a railroad right-of-way. There's a, I forget how wide the railroad right-of-way is, but there's actually I think it's almost a 40-foot wide railroad right-of-way that actually, so it's their property line, a 40-foot wide railroad right-of-way,
So we're looking at 90.
and then a 50-foot tree buffer.
So we're looking at 90 from their property.
Yes.
And I gotta believe with the tree line cleared, traditionally, when a tree line is cleared, it lets more sunlight in and you will have other vegetation grow.
Yes. We had the same issue when the supermarket went in, when ShopRite went in.
Yes.
That was supposed to have significant buffers, vegetative buffers, but they cut it, and then the canopy had kept out the undergrowth, but once the light got added, if you go down Stagecoach, you can't see the building now. Over time, it'll cure, should.
Okay, thank you for going out there and doing that.
You're welcome. Also would like to report, after a long, long wait, 30 Rivendell has been brought to the ground. That was started today. There is still, they still have part of the building to remove from the property, but it is physically down on the ground at this point in time. And then the next thing, if you've been down Hope Corson Road, they have installed the construction signs, and I do anticipate road work to be starting later this week. So just to remind everybody.
And what are they going to detour everybody on stage?
They'll be detoured out down to either Catherine or out and around to Route 9 down Stagecoach. But it will be open for local traffic.
Okay,
That's all I have.
all right. Barbara, do you have anything for us this
I
evening?
have nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Committeeman Coggins.
Mrs. Ludi and I met with Leon Costello to discuss long-term financing to roll our bond anticipation notes into actual long-term bonds. So at the next meeting on the agenda, there should be a resolution to go out for long-term bonding with the bond sale proposed on the 26th of November.
Okay.
And that's, in doing that, it's going to enable us to be a little bit more steady in budgeting for capital every year. We'll have a pretty good idea about how much we can pull out every year, what we can do, and what we can add into our long-term planning solutions.
Okay, good. Committeeman Young.
First, I want to thank Jay and the rescue squad on a job well done again with the trunk or treat. You had pretty good turnout from what I could see, so I received a lot of compliments about it. Second of all, we had an issue again Saturday night at Codwell Park at the playground area with broken bottles, trash, kids drinking up there, breaking them all over the playground equipment. We had a young man on this slide, I think it was, cut his hand the following morning. We called, I guess, Craig, or they talked to you, or who they talked to, and Larry and Eddie Carter went down and cleaned it all up. I'm not sure what we can do about this, but we need to get serious about cameras. We've been about a year talking about it, and I would also recommend that we possibly put 2 dusk dawn lights up there, similar we have in this parking lot, so that anybody that rides by can see if there's anybody congregating and partying in that area of the park.
If I may interject, the November 4th, the week of November 4th is when the cameras are going to be installed. And I did speak to our other vendor regarding lighting, the same one that we talked to for the football lights, and to move forward with some additional lighting around that Andrews, the playground area and whatnot.
Could we just put 2 LED streetlights up like we changed the ones in the parking lot too, so it's automatic?
That's all.
I mean, 2 of them
in
would
the
light the whole
options,
thing
yes.
up. And during the football games, a lot of little kids go over there to play on the playground.
Right.
So it should be lit up anyway for safety reasons.
And I did place a phone call. I spoke to Lieutenant Henry this afternoon in regard to these incidents and the prior incidents, and I know we are going to be working with the state police.
And again, without it being lit, the cameras aren't going to identify anybody anyway. So.
Well, these are infrared.
All right.
So.
Okay. Second thing I have is a request, and we talked about it before. And Craig, I think I mentioned to you, I wanted to be able to send at least 3 of our guys to turf management courses for the winter. Should be John Adams and then whoever else, I don't really care who. I think, it would really behoove us to do that as far as the maintenance on the field and being able to pick out different problem areas and how to correct it. So I'd like to make a recommendation that we have Craig or somebody look into these classes and get the guys booked during our down season for this so we can get it taken care of.
Actually, it's a quite extensive course, Hobie. The turf management course for Rutgers?
I'm not sure. I didn't look into it, but I know that they have not there.
It's like a 12-week course.
I don't know what it is, and maybe we just send 1 or 2 then.
My son did it. I'm very familiar with it.
Let's have Craig look and see if maybe there's some kind of a mini course.
It's up in New Brunswick, too. So it's the travel every day or get an apartment.
All right, and we have a lot of money in our fields, and I think we need somebody that's schooled in what to do and when to do it. So, the other thing is Scott PA system. Have we looked into that at all, or
Yes.
who's looking into it?
We actually have 2 quotes. I'm waiting on the 3rd quote, and then basically it'll be turned over to
Right.
Barb. But I think we have, between myself and Larry, I believe we have the appropriate piece of equipment.
Mark Pankos, as someone to talk to, his system is phenomenal. I'm not sure what it is, but it needed something I was going to also say later. But I just want to make sure that we had that up and ready
Yeah, I think,
for the tree lighting.
I think you'll be pleased with the one we're looking at.
All right. I want to say thank you and congratulations to the football program. I know Rich was out there, but last week was their homecoming and 8th grade and Parents Appreciation Night. And I was really impressed. I was fortunate enough to work the chains the last 2 weeks for the varsity. And they had a big screen up on the goalpost, and they did a whole presentation of coaches talking to the kids about life lessons in football, which broke into pictures of the kids. Kenny Chesney's on the Boys of the Fall. And I'm standing there, and probably about 20, 30 players that played for me. And I'm watching them with the tears coming down their face as they're remembering, their 8 years or 7, 8 years on the field. So I want to commend football for doing that. as well as for their Halloween decoration just past Friday. They really went overboard, and it's really nice to see the volunteers that are doing that. And soccer as well with their the Halloween game, the freight soccer, whatever it is that they call it. And that is all I have.
All right. Deputy Mayor Barr.
I have nothing to report, sir.
Committeeman Corson.
I have nothing at this time.
Okay, and I had something to contribute as we get into the conversation with the rebates from the GIF, so I'll hold off till then. We have that discussion. So, Barb, would you roll on to the resolutions, please?
Item number 1, honoring William McLeese on attaining the designation of Eagle Scout.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Carried. 2, appointing William Hoffman as a temporary employee to the Upper Township Construction Code Office to serve as construction official and building subcode official on an as-needed basis.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 3.
Gentlemen, I'd like to request that this item be tabled. Had some discussion with our solicitor and also with Committeeman Coggins. I've made some inquiries into it. I have a few questions. I'm waiting for some responses to come back. So if we could, I could indulge you to table this until our next meeting. I'll be more prepared to speak on this.
You need a motion to table?
Yes,
Yeah,
Or is it continuance to the next
You
meeting?
can take.
like the table.
Do it with a motion, please.
Motion to table.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried, and this will be placed on the next agenda. Item number 4, accepting the conveyance of real property known as Block 16, Lots 20 and 23, the municipal tax map of the Township of Upper, County of Cape May, and State of New Jersey by gift.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, accepting the conveyance of real property known as Block 26, Lot 50 on the municipal tax map of the Township of Upper County, Cape May, State of New Jersey by gift.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 6, accepting the conveyance of real property known as Block 638, Lot 14 on the municipal tax map of the Township of Upper County, Cape May, State of New Jersey by gift.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 7, approving the person-to-person transfer of plenary retail consumption license number 0511-33-003-007 from the Duvel Inn Incorporated to 201 Willard Liquor LLC.
Before you act on this, just to advise the committee, the application has been completed, it's been reviewed by Barbara's office and my office, has everything it needs in it. And also, the investigation by the state police and our review of the financial data is acceptable.
Motion to approve.
Second?
And one other thing, we did not receive any comments from the advertising.
Okay. Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 8, authorizing the mayor to sign an NJDP Green Acres application for the sale of real estate.
Motion to authorize?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 9, authorizing the award of a contract with Craftco Incorporated for road maintenance and repair supplies.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Mr. Barr? Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is Carried. Item number 10, rejecting the bids received for the replacement of Putnam Avenue and Sumner Avenue bulkheads.
Before you act on this, just to let, I know you're aware of it based upon the documents, but to reiterate for the public, we received bids. One of the bids was within the engineer's estimate. However, that bid had a fatal flaw in it and that it was unsigned. The remaining bids were substantially higher than our estimate. So what this resolution you have before you is to reject all the bids and rebid it.
All right.
Make a
that
motion to reject the bids.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item number 11, adopting a hazard communication plan for the Township of Upper.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And this is something from the OEM?
Annually, Community Right to Know is a requirement by state, or New Jersey State Department of Environmental Protection, that we go through and meet certain standards regarding community right to know and chemicals that our employees could potentially be exposed to in any of our facilities. So every year we have an inventory and proper labeling of these chemicals through our separate vendor, J. Montgomery. That was completed. A few other things that have to be completed is one, this hazardous communication plan, which we will, as of tomorrow, be disseminating to all of our employees. And it just basically identifies where our, what are called MSDS documents and regarding chemicals that we may have at the facilities, where the employees can get this information. It's got to be commonly available to them, and it will be through our network, and in some cases, off-site locations that don't have computer access, it will be available at those locations to the employees.
And we have policy procedures for when gloves should be worn, or masks,
Exactly. And there's-
eyewear.
Yes, in addition to that, there's also a 15-minute course that they'll be taking online as well to further educate all of our employees to this community right to know information. And that's required actually every 2 years. I said annually, it's every 2 years.
Okay.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item number 12, under ordinances, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 16, 2019, an ordinance amending revised general ordinance, Chapter 19, subdivision and site plan, and Chapter 20, zoning of the Code of Upper Township.
Just to review, this is essentially a technical ordinance that is not connected with the master plan review. It revises and clarifies a number of definitions, also sections on accessory buildings, lighting, signs, and zoning permit requirements.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, I'll open it up to the public to see if anyone would like to address the Township Committee. Now's the time to do so on this ordinance number 16, 2019. Please state your name and your reason for addressing the Township Committee on this.
I'm Blanche Adams, residing in Steelmantown, and I'm representing the Upper Township Business Association. I read through the proposed ordinance, and without comparing it side by side, I just wanted to know, is this ordinance, even though it's bringing us up to speed with the master plan, is it more restrictive to our businesses? Like, should I go back to our businesses and say something drastic has changed?
Actually, this ordinance is as a result of the meeting that I had with the Business Association probably, 4 years ago?
Yes, that's right.
So this is, what it allows is for contractor-type signs to be able to be placed around the township. They may not have a physical place of business, but when they do work at somebody's house, it legalizes that contractor can have a sign at that place where he did some work. And it puts regulations and notifications to our zoning officer for that business to do.
Okay, that, as I recall, the landscapers had a big problem with that, especially.
And that's where it's going to help somebody like that. But it just
Okay.
puts them, guidance and regulations, and I think it's very similar to what we discussed at that meeting.
Okay, so 30 days, and you're talking like lawn signs, pretty much, right? So lawn signs can stay 30 days at a place where you're doing work. And then I saw, there's a number, you can't have more than 4 or so,
Throughout the
So, okay. So no substantial changes with this, and nothing,
Well, this is a change
To be-
because this is not, they can't do that currently.
okay, so,
So this is establishing a procedure that a contractor signs out where they're doing, after
Okay.
they've done work at a property.
all right.
Well, is that 30 days also for builders that are building new homes or doing major residential homes that are going to be there for 4 to 6 months?
It would be 30 days after their
After their-
CO.
Which is what we talked about at the meeting.
Correct.
Just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks for the clarification.
Good. Would anyone else like to address the Township Committee on this ordinance? And it appears that we've exhausted the public comment portion of the public hearing, so I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt ordinance 16-2019.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Under new business, item number 13, Greater Tuckahoe Area Merchants Association request to hold a raffle number 523 at the Upper Township Community Center on November 23rd, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Carried. 14, Ocean City Crew Boosters request to hold a raffle number 524 at the Seaville Tavern on Thursdays beginning March 19th, 2020 through May 7th, 2020.
Motion to allow?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 15, this is New Jersey Best Practices Worksheet for the calendar year 2019, state fiscal year 2020.
Barbara?
I'm happy to report that we have completed our best practices inventory. Out of a possible score of 46, we have 42.5, which is a 92%. And you had to, if you answered below a 30, your state aid would be affected. So obviously we have a 42.5 score, our state aid will not be affected. Just goes to show that our practices throughout the township are in line with what the state recommends.
It's great. It's a great report.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 16, renewal of commercial bingo hall license for 2020. As you know, we have a license, commercial hall at the community center where we can hold bingo. And in order to continue this, the license expires in December. We'll need to renew the license.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Carried. Item number 17, JIP 2019 dividend announcement.
So my computer's frozen, so, and someone, I was going to pass this down to you, I can't get out of whatever
It's,
I'm in.
$50,070.
Yeah, and so that's a dividend for good practice on the township side. I looked at what we have put aside in escrow in that account, and it's $108,000.
It would be a total of 108
What?
with this $50,000.
It-
We currently have
58,000? So the question is, Dan, we've gone with your guidance as to putting that money in escrow for, potential litigation or things that we may need in the future, but
Barbara and I discussed this, and frankly, what you have now is sufficient with what we know we have in terms of claims.
so then I would make a recommendation or a motion that we take the fund that we've gotten back the 50,000, whatever it is,
50,700.
and put it towards the dividend for this upcoming year that we're going to be charged with for the GIF amount.
I second that.
So in other words, we'll lower our bill by putting in the 50,000 that we're getting back, so.
Okay. Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Okay, motion is carried. Item number 18, Roy Brennan of Reno, Nevada requests the assignment of tax sale certificate for Block 629, Lot 9.
This is a tax sale certificate that's in a residential area, and the Township Committee has had I guess it's best to say informal policy. It's never been produced into a written document of not allowing township land to be privately held if possible, that could be developed into residential property. We hold the tax sale certificate. If and when we foreclose on it, we will own it. This person has asked to purchase it to combine it with other lands that they have, and the only purpose we can see to combine it is eventually to build a residential house. My recommendation is, if you want to be consistent with trying to keep the tax base non-residential, that you should not agree to the request.
So do you need a motion to deny the request?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
Second.
No.
Then I'll do the one.
So was there a discussion?
I mean, is the guy's property buildable without?
Yes, it doesn't front an improved street, but at some point they could get the rights to improve the street. But that's the only reason to allow it to be sold. And again, it's your call. I'm not sure.
So by combining this, I guess, and Curtis, tell me if this is what you're asking, if we deny this, it really doesn't make an effect on the ultimate property that they could build anyway?
I don't know if he can build on it. My understanding is the property adjacent to it is undersized, so the only right that he would have would be to build a affordable housing unit. Correct?
If you could get street frontage.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have, the property he currently has does not have street frontage, and it's still undersized.
We have significant lots in this area. It's those 25 by 100 foot lots, with a significant number of them. And it's always been the Township Committee's position over the years not to sell them, not to transfer them. We could make money by selling residentially developable land, but not to do that because of the tax situation when you have a residential house.
Effect on
and you're
the
paying
school system.
$15,000 to $20,000 in high school tuition, and you're getting $3,000 or $4,000 out of the house. So it's a significant negative number when you allow public lands to be developed residentially in the township.
Okay, there's a motion to deny and a second. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 19, Upper Township Historical Society requests to hold Santa Express Train event on various dates beginning Sunday, December 1st, 2019 through December 23rd, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 20, Upper Township Soccer Association requests to hold a dodgeball tournament fundraiser event at the Upper Township Community Center on Saturday, November 16th, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 21, under unfinished business, NJDOT roadway improvement projects regarding Route 9, Tucker Hill Road to Roosevelt Boulevard.
Paul?
At the Township Committee's request, the consultant for the DOT provided an additional plan that showed, kind of what I had described would be that the DOT would add those additional 14 spaces on the south of Harbor Road on the east side of Route 9, Shore Road, to make up the lost spaces by installing the cul-de-sac as opposed to, I'll say, the longer dead-end option that the DOT provided as an alternative. So my recommendation would be, which is in line with what the planning board recommended, would be to look at like alternative 5, which has a full cul-de-sac, and then with the addition of the 14 parking spaces.
So that's the second sheet you've given us, right?
Correct.
Now, alternative 5 with the cul-de-sac, that's it, island in the cul-de-sac?
No, that just was striping. He
gonna be
showed
painted?
it. They would not stripe the cul-de-sac.
So it's gonna all be asphalt?
Correct.
Okay. What's gonna be beyond that, Paul?
That's something the county's working on. The county's working on a plan to enhance and do something with the rest of that area. They haven't formulated their final plan yet. But my understanding is that they will be, the county, as you know right now, the county's allowing the contractors working for Atlantic City Electric that's doing the replacement of the towers out in the Great Neck Harbor Bay for the transmission towers. When they're done, the contractor's going to repair that area and clean it up and rehabilitate it to the satisfaction and direction of the county.
So there's a potential for some benches or something there, is that what you're saying?
They could make
I
a little
don't know
north
what-
down in there or something, right?
My anticipation is they'll make like a little pocket park out of it where they'll probably have some benches down there where you can go down and look at the water and sit by the, at the water's, you won't be at the water's edge, but 'cause I don't know what they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna remove the bulkhead and grade it, slope it down. I don't know what their plans are. The county hasn't let us, or the state.
Well, it'd be nice if they bulkheaded it and actually made like a little fishing pier there, that would kind of be nice.
I don't know what they're anticipating. But this would obviously be an improvement over what is there currently.
Well, I guess we need to make a motion now?
Please.
I make a motion that we go with option number 5 and follow our planning board's recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Along with the additional parking on.
Definitely.
I think we need to, besides saying alternate 5, we need to.
Alternate
reference-
5 with the additional first page of parking here we got. Yes, 14 spots.
Reconstruction of parking areas south of Harbor Road.
Yes,
What recourse do we have if it doesn't happen?
absolutely none.
Well, I think this is, this resolution.
Come on, we've already gone through this with the bridge.
Well, we'd make any other developer, we'd make any other developer in this township put up a bond, but the sad part is we can't ask the state of New Jersey to put up a bond on their highway improvement project.
This is only the first step of the approval.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, you saw what happened with the whole bridge situation. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do this, but then it didn't happen.
The only recourse you're gonna have is in the voting booth.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
With our recommendation, this now allows the project to move from a preliminary design phase to an actual design. So this is just really a concept development plan. So with the township's endorsement of a preferred alternative, they'll turn that preferred alternative into the actual design, which they will then bring back to the township for government officials and public outreach meeting, where you'll have another comment period. But I think is the only, just true comment and effect that you have is, it is their highway and their ability to deal with it. And the only recourse is at the voting polls and with the local papers and news media.
Just like the Route 50 project, we're probably the first month into a 10-year project.
Well, hopefully this will not be as long as what the Route 50 project is.
Well, let me ask you one thing. Like, so we see this plan. It doesn't look like there's any sidewalks or anything to get, if they put a park behind, is there?
They're showing sidewalks like on the south.
I mean, is that what the dotted line's about?
Yep, they show a sidewalk from the parking to the south that would go up to Harbor Road. When you would cross Harbor Road, they show another sidewalk that would go along the parking, along Tuckahoe Road. And then it would actually, in the alternative 5,
I'm talking about where the cul-de-sac is.
Yeah, when you get to the cul-de-sac, because they don't have enough right-of-way to get around it, they'll actually put a crosswalk along the outer edge of that, and then the sidewalk will continue beyond the cul-de-sac. So it would have a way for pedestrian to walk all the way up to whatever the county
Right, that's
would
what-
futurely build.
Okay. All right, so we have a first and a second. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Abstain?
Abstain. Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried, 4 in favor.
I hereby move that all claims submitted in payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated into the full minutes of the meeting.
Second. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Right, so there are no reports from the municipal departments today. So at this time, we'll open it up for public comment. Would anyone like to address the Township Committee? Now's the time to do so. Please come to the microphone and state your name, your address, and your reason for addressing the Township Committee.
Hi, Linda Bateman, 14 East Tecumseh, Strathmere. I had a question about resolutions 4, 5, and 6, and was wondering if you could tell me where these are and what types of properties are being gifted, please?
You want to go into that, Paul?
Or just what
block-
section or town?
Block 16 and 26, both are on Route 49 in the Marshall section. They kind of are across the street. I think they're close to Cedar Avenue and Route 49. Block 638, Lot 14, that's actually a small narrow piece of property. It's on Stagecoach Road directly, kind of between Caldwell Park and Stagecoach Road.
So is this a gift that will cost money to maintain, or do you have to
No.
tear anything down, or it's
No.
just,
Wooded land.
Wooded land.
Developable wooded land.
and it will remain that way?
The one at Caldwell Park will become
Yeah, I mean,
part of
that's
the
got a
park.
lot of
It's all-
campaign
We already
signs on
kind
it.
of maintain that area.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Blanche Adams, 330 Woodbine Road, Steelmantown, and representing the Upper Township Business Association with a personal invitation to our 8th annual community night. I just wanted to let you know about that. We're so pleased to be presenting it for the 8th year. Over 50 businesses and local civic organizations come out to show the township residents what we have to offer here in Upper Township. So we're thrilled. We usually have a couple hundred, maybe 300 people come through. And as we started last year, we were going with a theme of opening up Upper Township for a holiday shopping season. And Mayor, you were kind enough last year to come and do a ribbon cutting, so we invite you to do that again if you're available. Invite all the committee people to come as well, and just meet the local civic organizations again and the businesses. So it's Wednesday, November 13th from 6 to 8 at the Upper Township Elementary School. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Okay, it appears that there's no other further public comment, so we'll close the public comment portion of the meeting and go to Mr. Coggins to entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. The matters are contract negotiation for municipal advisory services, for an environmental specialist, for special legal counsel, potential litigation for land use approvals, and personnel. I also include in my motion the estimated time and circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality. With respect to litigation matters, such discussions will be made public when litigation is complete and the applicable appeal period has expired.
Second. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Farr?
Yes.
Mr. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes. Thank you all for attending this evening. Have a great week and drive safely home.